Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Shastitch Place. Today, we're going to be going over every single one of the battle items in Pokemon Unite. Breaking down, telling you guys what they do, and then we're going to be ranking them on a tier list, of course. So, of course, there are plenty of other content creators out there that can give you context on this as well, and probably communicate this stuff better than I can, but however, I feel like it's just fine for me to do this. You know, there's plenty of other people that my audience might reach that those people might not get to. So having extra information out there is never a bad thing in my opinion, and that's why we're going to be doing this. So yeah, I think that this is going to be really fun to also rank the items. We will also be doing the same thing with the held items, so keep an eye out for a video like that. I just decided to split it up and just go with the battle items first. So anyways, let's just get right into it. First up, we have the Eject Button. The Eject Button has a 70-second cooldown. If you remember back in the day of the launch of Pokemon Unite, I believe this had like a 40, maybe it was 50-second cooldown, and that was absurd. So like this item did get nerfed, and rightfully so, because it lets you just do so much. Like Eject Button is still very, very much one of the best items in the game, despite the nerf, and it lets you just jump to another location. It helps you get out of sticky situations where you'd otherwise die. It helps you maybe chase things down. It could be used offensively, defensively, lets you get through freaking walls that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get through. It's just a really, really good item, and it can be very useful to help characters that don't have a lot of mobility, be able to, have that little bit of extra burst movement, and that's really nice. So that's why we're going to be taking Eject Button, and we're going to be popping it into that yes category, because it is that good. It is an incredible item, still, despite all the nerfs, and it can be used on literally every character in the game to great effect. So there is that. Next up, we got Fluffy Tail. Fluffy Tail has a 25-second cooldown, and it incapacitates a wild Pokemon and increases damage dealt to it. There is a big old formula right here if you want to take a look at that and do some maths, but it does more damage to wild Pokemon. There you go. It's also really nice because it lets you stun them. Think of Dreadnought going for a big old jump. You can freaking stun it, and it won't do that anymore. Zapdos, kind of the same thing. Or even like Bouffalant trying to charge at you. That's pretty good. So it's very nice for characters that have mobility already. Think of like a Greninja or a Zeraora or something like that, that lets you freaking secure farm in the jungle and helps you get those jungle clears extra fast. So this is the quote-unquote jungler item, so you can clear your jungle and get to your lane to help out your teammates faster than normal, which is very, very nice. So 25 seconds is nothing. However, it does have some utility on supports, so there is something to note that this only works for the player using it. So a lot of supports used to run it to be a good teammate to help help your team secure farms, but that has not actually been the case in since we have figured that out. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something like that we figured it out. It only works on the person using it. However, I still think it's still fine on supports, maybe even some defenders, because sometimes it is a little bit hard for them to secure farm and grind. Just helps that grinding process be a little bit extra faster. Yeah, there is that. So oops, wrong tab. So we're gonna move Fluffy Tail into the I'm okay with this category. It's very good on those characters I mentioned, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So alright, next up we got Full Heal. 40-second cooldown to remove all status conditions and become immune to hindrances for a short time. Only 2.5 seconds, so not that long, so make sure you're using this in the right situations, and this is another item I think is very, very solid. I think, again, it should be used on characters that have good mobility already, so think of something like a Greninja. Like, I've been loving it on Greninja. You have mobility from Smokescreen and Surf, and it really helps out with Greninja's really tricky matchups. Think of like Wigglytuff, think of Alola and Ninetales. Those characters, they kind of just slow you down. Wigglytuff tries to sleep you. You can just be like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm just going to keep attacking you anyway. Even stops things like Snorlax's block, doesn't let you get popped up by like Slowbro Surf, or moved out of the way with like freaking Blastoise's Surf or Hydro Pump. So that's really, really nice. It just makes you unstoppable, as it says in this game, for 2.5 seconds. That's really, really good. So I think that Full Heal has some very, very good utility, and quite frankly, I keep doing that. So quite frankly, I think these two are kind of interchangeable. It really all depends on the character that you're using it on. I would probably put Fluffy Tail as a slight edge, just because I feel like it has more utility on more characters than Full Heal, but it's still very, very good, I think, for almost everybody that wants to use it. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we got the Goal Getter. It has a 90-second cooldown, which is very long, but I don't think it's really that bad for an item like this. What it does, of course, it doubles your scoring speed for a short time, and it has a 10-second duration. Not too shabby. So 90 seconds is a very long cooldown. However, this should probably be best used when you're going for those big dunks, you know, like those 50s, those 40s or so. Because, you know, those smaller dunks, you know, your 10s, your 12s, you know, freaking 17 goals, you can probably get those in pretty fine without Goal Getter, you know, especially if you're running Score Shield. So like, that's pretty fine. So I think Goal Getter is fine. It's probably useful on characters that want to score a lot. I guess you could use it with like some of the stacking held items, you know, to guarantee those scores pretty much. But I don't know, it's like super niche. I tried it on Crustle. I think it's pretty fun on Crustle, but I would still probably have a Fluffy Tail over it. So that's why, hey, look at that, we clicked the right freaking tab this time. You know what, I'm just gonna close out this one so I don't do it anymore. How about that? I'm just gonna put it into that sure but why category, because like, it's a fine item. It's just like, there's better options almost always. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, Goal Getter, fine, but you could probably be using something better. Just like Potion, 30 seconds, and it restores some of your HP. It has a 15% of your max HP. Ah, man, Potion, poor Potion. So 30 seconds cooldown, that's not too bad, but 15% of your HP really isn't that much. And of course, we'll be going into held items in the other video, but you got to think, you have an item called Focus Band that increases that gives you 14% of your maximum HP for 3 seconds whenever you get to low HP, which is probably when you're going to be using Potion. So yeah, like, I look at Potion and it's like, why wouldn't I just run a Focus Band instead if I want to be tanking? And yeah, 15% of your HP, just not that much, and that's why we're gonna have to just put into, that's a mistake, right? Because, you know, you're never using Potion on purpose. Like, that's a mistake if you're picking Potion, right? You know, but yeah, there's that though. But all right, next up we got Slow Smoke. Slow Smoke is a 40-second cooldown, and you create a ring of smoke around you, greatly slowing enemies within. So it does slow them down very, very slow. This is more than like the slow that you would get from like a red debuff or like a Cinderace trying to attack you. So it just brings you down to a crawl. However, it does only last for 1 second, and it's not like a lingering effect like those things. So like, I don't know. Slow Smoke is fine, I guess. Like, I've seen like some supports try it out. I experimented with it a little bit on like Wigglytuff, so it's a lot harder for people to get away from me if I'm trying to sing them. I don't know. I don't think it's really that worth it, and unfortunately I think we're probably just going to put it into the sure but why. I can see some use for it, but it's just, nah. Like, just pick something else. Just pick something else, you know? Like, it's that. Alright, next up we have the X attack. It has a 40-second cooldown, and it raises your attack and special attack for a short time. It has a 7-second duration and 20% increased to attack and special attack. So, yeah, that is a thing, I suppose. And, yeah, so 20% really isn't that much, especially when you look at some of these character stats. Like, 20% increase really isn't insane. And yeah, so you have a 7-second duration, which I suppose is nice. That's a lot longer than some of the other durations of some of these items, but it's really not that worth it, honestly. You can get just as good increases on your stats, or your held items, if not better, and you just have better items. Like, honestly, I'd probably rather see a slow smoke than an X attack on somebody, because I at least know that this can help the team potentially, whereas this is just, I don't know, it's there. But yeah, that's X attack. I don't think it's really that worth it, honestly, to run once you get better items. So X speed is next, though. It has a 50-second cooldown, and it raises your movement speed, and you become immune to move speed reduction for a short time. And it has a 6-second duration, which is a very, very good duration. It has almost more than double the duration of full heal, which is really nice, and it works kind of similarly to full heal. So it raises your movement speed, and you're immune to speed reduction. So what that means, like anything that's trying to slow you down, think of like the red debuff that I talked about before, or even slow smoke like that. Sludge bomb from like Gengar or Venusaur. That stuff slows you down, but also it wakes you up from sleep, which is something really cool, because I guess the game recognizes sleep as slowing you down so much you don't move. So there's that. So it's very useful on characters, again, that have mobility already and can really appreciate that speed boost. So I can definitely see this on some characters like Snorlax that don't really have the biggest speed. You can also do some goofy stuff with Snorlax with block, which is kind of fun. But I think it's also very useful on somebody like Absol potentially. I've been trying it out on that, and I think it's fine. So I think we're going to be putting X speed into the I'm okay with this tier. I would probably say full heal's a little bit better than it, because it does remove those hindrances. It lets you not get stunned. It lets you not get popped up by anything. X speed will you'll still be hit by those kind of things, and you're still vulnerable to CC, but it's still very, very nice, and it has a longer duration, which is very cool. So yeah, I think X speed, again, need to be using it on the right character, but I'm very okay with seeing X speed on that. So, but anyway, there you go. There is my thoughts and a breakdown of all of the battle items in this game. Be sure to check out the held items video that's probably be coming around the same time, maybe an hour or so from now, I don't know. But yeah, that one's probably going to be a lot longer. Of course, we have a lot more held items and stuff like that. Also, be sure to be on the lookout. Probably Monday, I'm going to be putting out a video where I go through all the characters in the game, and I share my preferred build or two with them, and I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. So a lot of people might ask me like, hey, what do you think are the best items on this? And now I'll be able to direct link to that, and I will also be making a Google Doc or sheet or something like that with that as well. So be sure to look out for that if you're interested in that. And of course, we are kind of in the Wild West here. We have a lot of new stuff added to the game, so I'm going to be doing my best this weekend to get a lot of games in with a lot of different characters, so I can share my educated thoughts on what I really like with everybody. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. Let me know, what do you think is the best held item in the game? Am I crazy for freaking thinking X speed is really good? Do you think slow smoke has hidden potential? I don't know. I want to hear it down in the comments down below. But for now, like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. I love you all. Deuces.